Now the second question for our final accounts. Remember that the weightage of this chapter is maximum. So you need to pay utmost attention here. Let's read the question first. Prepare final accounts as on March 31st, 2015 from the information given below. First read the question, read the additional information, take 2 minutes for that. Mark the additional information in the question so that you don't miss any point, and then you start. Purchase adjusted by stock. Now what does this mean? Adjusted by stock means already the adjustment has been done and closing stock need not again be put in your trading account. We will further check it. Prepaid insurance as on 1st April. See, it is on 1st April, the prepaid insurance on 1st April, and we have to make books of account on 31st March. So note this point. Bad debts, rent, insurance, these are all debit balances. Debtors, stock as on 31st March 2015, stock has been given in your debit balances. It is an SR. Your cash, accrued interest 800, plant, income tax. Income tax is the liability of the proprietor, but still, since it is paid by the business, it is written here. We will have to remove it and treat it as drawings. Then wages is written here. Credit balances, sales tax collected. Sales tax collected is my liability because I need to pay it to the government. Interest received, provision for doubtful debts. This is the old provision. Remember, this is the old provision because it is present in your trial balance. Then your cash discount, capital, creditors, and outstanding wages. Outstanding wages are also here, so only one effect. Now on 31st March 2015, one plant worth rupees 10,000 was purchased on credit, but no entry has been passed yet. Okay, so this is an entry about the plant. Where is the plant? Here is the plant. So I'll quickly go and write in my balance sheet plant. Okay. For how much is the plant? 50,000. And the adjustment entry is that 10,000 you have added to the plant. So add it here, 10,000. So my plant becomes 60,000. And no entry regarding this has been made in the books. So entry will now be recorded for the amount of creditors. 10,000 will increase because you have to pay it for the plant. So add in creditors 10,000 outstanding for the plant. This is the first adjustment entry done. Here for plant you can just make a small tick. You have done this, and double effect is I will add it to my plant. Remember that the date is, this is 31st March 2015. So for the new plant you need to give depreciation only on half of the rate what is given. So this is done, this is done. Okay. Outstanding rent rupees 500. Okay, let's find out rent. Rent is 5,500 here. So I quickly write it in my P&L account. To rent 5,500 here, and I will add outstanding rent 500. Outstanding is always added because it is due but not yet paid. So 6,000 in the outer column. And then outstanding rent is always my liability. We learned that liability on the credit side. We'll write here outstanding rent 500. Okay. Finish this. Prepaid insurance 250, wages 400. Okay, these are prepaid. So find the value of insurance first. insurance 2250. So I will write 2 insurance in my P&L. 2250. The formula is add outstanding less prepaid. So less prepaid insurance. How much is it? It is 250. So subtract 250 from here. 2000 comes out. And prepaid insurance is my assert. Paid it earlier. So prepaid insurance 250 comes here. This is my assert. Now I have one more entry regarding insurance, is it? Insurance 2250 is there. But see, prepaid insurance on 1st April 625 is also there. So I will consider what is at the end of the year, that is 250, and I will have to remove the opening balance to show a clear picture. So remove this 625, saying that this is the balance in the opening. So to remove the effect, the formula is add outstanding less prepaid. Now I want to revert it, the opening balance. So what will I do? Add opening prepaid. The opening prepaid insurance is 625. What is the formula? Generally I less prepaid, but since it is opening, I will have to add 625. So what is the net? 2000 plus 625 comes to 2625. So this is also done. Now we were on wages. Prepaid wages 400. So first find where are the wages. Wages are here, 20,000. So I will write here 2 wages, 20,000, and prepaid, add outstanding less prepaid. So you will subtract 400 from here because they don't pertain to this accounting year. Subtract it, 19,600, and prepaid wages is my assert also. So in balance sheet, prepaid wages 400. Okay. This is also done. Okay, goods worth ₹1,000 taken by proprietor, but no entry has been done in books. Goods taken by the proprietor is considered as drawing. So from the purchase amount, you need to remove the drawing. Put in the purchase amount first. 193,500 is your purchase amount. And then goods taken by the proprietor is 1,000. So less drawing, which is 1,000. Remove it from here. Already taken by the proprietor, no more in the stock. 192,500. And you will, in capital, you will have to deduct it, saying less drawing. So less drawing 1,000. This entry also done. Okay. Rate of depreciation on plant at the rate 10%. Now very important, plant, when one plant is from the beginning of the year and the other plant is taken after 6 months, from 1st October to 31st March, any date of purchase, then on that amount you have to put half of the amount, which is half of the rate which is given. Here it is 10%. So let's Go to the balance sheet. Plant is 60,000. How will I calculate depreciation? On the opening, that is 50,000, full 10% will be given, that is 5,000, plus on 10,000, within last 6 months it has been purchased, so 10% into 1 by 2 is the amount. So what will be the amount total? On 10,000, 10% is 1,000 and 5% is 500. So 5,000 plus 500 is 5,500 will be my effective depreciation. On the addition, check the date. It is very important. If for 6 months, provide only half of the rate of the depreciation. So what I get in outer column is 54,500. And depreciation needs to be placed in P&L as well. So 5,500 will be my depreciation. To depreciation. $5,500. Both sides done. Write off rupees 500 from debtors as bad debts. Create provision for doubtful debts at 5% and 2% provision for discount on debtors. Very important point, and yet very confusing point also. Go step by step. First of all, take the debtors, then subtract from the debtors the amount of further bad debts which is given here in adjustments, which is 500. Then on the balance, whatever balance you get from that, subtract provision for doubtful debts, and only on the remaining amount you have to calculate discount on debtors, because what is already doubtful you have subtracted. Now no need to give it on the net. I just explain you by doing it. Debtors in my books, let's check for the debtors. See here, debtors 37,500 is there in my books. Okay, so debtors 37,500, I should mention it over here first. 37,500 is my debtors in the books. What about the opening bad debts in my books? Just check it. Opening bad debts is 600. Put it in the P&L. So it will be 2 bad debts. How much? 600. Now our adjustment entry begins. I have a further bad debts of 500. So in bad debts, I will first add up for the bad debts here, for the bad debts of 500. Okay, this is added. And what do I do for the bad debts in the balance sheet? I subtracted less for the bad debts, 500 less 500. So what I get is 37,500. Now the question says is, create provision for doubtful debts at the rate 5%. So first of all, create provision for doubtful debts at the rate 5% of 37,500, which is 1850. So 1850 needs to be subtracted. First of all, create provision for doubtful debts. On the remaining amount only you can create discount on debtors. It cannot be possible that you first discount on debtors at 2% and then provision for doubtful debts 5%. You will get a wrong figure. First you have to subtract provision for doubtful debts at the rate 5% and the balance come to 35,150. And 1850 is your provision for doubtful debts, which you need to add up in bad debts. So add provision for doubtful debts, the amount is 1850. And now on the remaining amount you calculate 2% provision for discount on debtors. So what is the amount left with me? 35,150. On this 2% discounts come to 703. I subtract it from here, and in the outer column I get 34447. Take your calculator, start calculating with me, that will help you. Okay, and what about the discount on debtors? I will have to write it down in my P&L account. It is my expense. So here separately I'll write here to discount on debtors, provision for discount on debtors, and that is 703. Now in the P&L there is an old provision also lying. Check. Provision for doubtful debts 2500 over here. Now since I have a new provision with 2%, I cannot maintain new provision as well as the old provision. So remember that from P&L you have to remove it. So what you will do is less old provision from your trial balance, that is 2500. So 600 plus 500 plus 1850 minus 2500 comes to 450. Very important adjustment entry, and slowly you will understand. You have to do many questions in practice, and then slowly the path will come. You should see the adjustment entries part, which I have taught separately several times. Then it will be easy to put it in the financial statements. Okay, so this has been done. We get 450 in the outer column. Now what else is left? Let me check the credit side first. Sales, I will directly put in the sales here, 3 lakhs. So 3 lakhs is done. Sales tax collected. Sales tax collected 20,000 is what? Sales tax collected, it's my liability. So sales tax collected 20,000 needs to be written here. What next? Interest received 1000. Interest received is my indirect income. So by interest received, $1,000. Okay, this is also done. Old provision I have already subtracted. Cash discount in credit means cash discount received. So by cash discount, had it been in debit it would have been paid. In credit it is received, 4,500. This is also done. Oh, okay, capital 108,625. 108,625 in the balance sheet. Outstanding wages given in the trading account and not as additional information. What will you do of these outstanding wages is my question. Since wages prepaid has been adjusted and outstanding wages is actually my liability. The amount is 900, already adjusted in the trading account as it is given in your trial balance, or outside the additional information, not within the additional information. So just write outstanding wages 900 as your liability. You have to pay it now. Outstanding wages 900. Okay, this is also done. From the creditors, where is the opening balance of creditors? 18750. I need to write this. Creditors 18750, and the amount I need to take it outside because adding the amount I have to pay for the plant. So this is 28,750. Okay. Now you see that this is not still yet written. Income tax 20,000. Now income tax is expense for the business, or it is a personal expense? It is personal expense treated as drawing. So subtract 20,000 from here. It is a liability for the proprietor to pay and not the business. So this has to be subtracted from your capital account. Okay. And accrued interest 31st March 2015. Okay, I have an accrued interest, means it is my asset. So I have to write it in my asset side. Accrued interest 800. Accrued interest 800 is here. Now, what about the closing stock? See, closing stock, since it is given here and not as additional information, means the stock has been adjusted. Just keep it as your asset. Had it been given in additional information, I would have written it here by closing stock. But since there is no additional information and in the trial balance only, means that this has been adjusted. I just need to mark it as my assets and nothing to be done in the trading account. Closing stock 2,500. Okay, so this is how our balance sheet is looking like. I think, let me check if I've left. Yes, cash is still left. Cash 105,000. Plug in cash. Asset 105,000. Okay, now this is also done. So let's start with the calculations. Look at the trading account first. I have sales, then I have my net purchases, then my net wages. Okay, so the total is 3 lakhs here, 3 lakhs here, and from 3 lakhs I need to subtract 192,500 and 19,600. I get 87,900 as my total. Bring it here, 87,900. Now adding 1,000 and 4,500 brings it to 93,400. 93,400 should be this side total as well. Now subtracting 703,450, 6,000 of my rent, 5,500 of depreciation, and 2,625. So how many items? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 items are subtracted, and the balance is net profit. To net profit added up to the capital account is 78,122. 78,122. Add net profit here. 78,122. Okay, so from capital less drawings, less income tax, add net profit comes to 165,747. And then I have my creditors 500, 900 and 20,000 other items, and the total comes to 215,897. So the asset side total should be 215,897, otherwise there is a problem. Debtors is 34,447. Then 205,000 is your closing stock. Then your plant comes to 54,500. 400 is your prepaid wages. Then 800 is accrued interest. 250 is your prepaid insurance, and 105,000 is your cash. The total comes to 215,897. Now one thing I can suggest is to make it more neat. What you can do is for say furniture or for say bad debts, you can make working notes below your balance sheet. In the take a fresh new page, and all this working which you are doing here for your debtors, working note for debtors, see working note number 1, working note for debtors, and then show the working there and just bring the final amount here. It makes your balance sheet even more neat. See here I have to scroll pages, so it is difficult, but you can exactly do the same way on your paper. See, this is such a big working for bad debts, add further bad debts, add provision for doubtful debts, less old provision. So instead of putting in so much space, actually applying so much space here, what you can do is for P&L working note for bad debts, solve it there and bring the final amount here. This is a good option and you can exercise this. Actually I have tried to take all the things and make a P&L and balance sheet for you so that you learn the concepts, but this is definitely not the end. You have to learn many questions to practice it, and so that gives you confidence in your exams. Do pick up a book and start solving questions. That will definitely increase your confidence when you are doing the questions in your exams.